Hi everyone and welcome back to our channel Sharang and Sharvari. So I know we are posting a video after a long time, but I think this is a topic that you will find interesting. It may be a bit controversial. Your mind, will run a bit when you see this video and especially on this topic. And today's topic is Sharang's find because he, wanted to bring this topic out into the open, put his ideas out there. And before we start this video, firstly, I want to thank everyone for all the comments, all the love that you have been giving for all of our past videos. We keep on reviewing that, and we both are very happy to see that all of you are really, engaging with our content. And today it's a bit, the weather is really nice. We decided to make it a bit of an outdoorsy video, and we wanted to kind of put it out there that we are nature people and we like to sit in nature, we like to walk and do all those things. So without wasting any time, I think we can get to the video, Sharon.
Yeah, sure. So, first of all, thank you so much for the response to the Urdu poem. The video did not get that many likes, but I'm still happy. It was a very different creative endeavor, so it was personally satisfying, and if even though maybe not commercially or whatever, successful in terms of likes and views. I'll start off this video by a disclaimer: I am not a Marxist, nor am I a communist. Right, so I don't believe in a communist model everywhere. Every single time communism has been implemented in history, it has led to a totalitarian regime. It has led to horrible conditions for the working classes. It has led to a horrible economies where people would line up just for bread. So yeah, basically East Germany and West Germany are a classic example. West Germany became an industrial powerhouse, became a rich, prosperous country. East Germany, same people, just a different economic model. It did not do anywhere close to what West Germany did. Um, Having said that, just because I don't believe in communism or Marxism does not mean that I'm somehow blind to the flaws of this current system that we live in, right? So, what is the current system we live in? This system is known as free market capitalism. And the sad reality is that a lot of people are completely unaware of this modern system, exactly what it's based on. Like they know of capitalism, okay, free market. Oh, what is the, you know, so the basic thing about the free market is that how much does this phone cost? How much is this supposed to cost? You know, that is not in a communist government. That decision is taken by the state, whereas in a free market economy, that decision can be taken by individuals who have their own private companies. Additionally, in a communist state, an individual is not allowed to hold or is not allowed to own any company. Not a small business, for example, cannot legally exist in a communist state. On the other hand, in a capitalist economy, small individual people can have these small individual businesses and so on, and then they can this fosters a spirit of competition, because you have different businesses competing to give you the same product, in this case the phone, so they optimize for things like cost, the quality, etc., etc. This is a great economic model. It does lead to the generation of some inequality, but it does lead to wealth generation, and that system is unparalleled in terms of the economic output and success it delivers. Um, However, right, there is just one flaw of the current economic model, is that it's based on an assumption which I find flawed. Right, so the current economic model is based on the principle of growth, right, and that growth is theoretically supposed to be infinite, right? So every year the every company expects to grow by 25% or whatever, and if it's not growing, then that means it's stagnant and going to collapse and fail, etc., etc. Additionally, what happens in a consumerist capitalist economy? It is based on consumerism, right? So businesses, they want to sell you things, so they want to encourage demand. So they want to encourage you to buy more and more things so that they can supply the demand, and so the cycle of economy can go on. Right. The problem there is that at some point, if you're a human being, right? So all economic models are based on the model of a Homo economicus. So Homo economicus is the rational man who always takes economically sound decisions, logical choices, which is not, we're crazy apes. That's not who we are. That's one flaw. But that's, let's say, a flaw of classical economics. The problem there, though, is that all economic models in the modern world are based on infinite growth, and that just cannot happen. At one point, a human being will get sick of consumption, right? Like, let's say, why does capitalism, right, works so well in impoverished countries is because in a country like India, a lot of people don't even have access to basic things like a car, like a house, like just basic necessities of life are not there.
Yeah.
And the same was the case when industrialization first started in England or Germany or wherever, because at that time those countries were also poor. But once you come to a certain level of wealth and standard, beyond that, you don't really need uh, goods and services, because how many cars will you realistically need? Most people get satisfied with a few cars, and after that they don't have this, like, there are a few greedy people, or not even greedy, they just have a hunger for money or wealth or whatever, but most people, they get satisfied, and money does not correlate with happiness after a certain point.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so then an economy first is based on factories and things like that. However, in rich countries, the economies become a service related industry. And as their populations begin to age, because in the industrial civilization, one has seen birth rates begin to fall, population begins to drop, because the rural areas begin to empty out and the population becomes concentrated in cities, because that's where all the jobs are. And then so it's like this system is collapsing in on itself, and people from the old generations who spend their whole lives reaping its benefits don't really see it. But we are at the, especially in the western countries, right, they are already at the end stages of capitalism. We as Indians have some ways to go, because our poor country has ways to develop, build infrastructure, etc., etc. But in the West, like, does Germany need more roads? Not really. They're running out of people. Why will they need more roads? So this economic model of incessant growth year after year is gone. And you can see all over the EU, they're growing at 0.2%. Some few years they're declining. So that's it. This is why the current model is broken. And will you like to add something?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that I don't know if people know this, but I actually have a minor in economics because my major in college was a triple major. So I have psychology as my major, but I had economics and political science as a minor. And I remember reading this particular rule or law, it was called. I think it was by the famous economist Adam Smith. So he said, or he had a law that was called the law of diminishing marginal utility.
Okay.
So it's like you kind of, I think it was related to demand and supply, but somewhere I think it also applies here that you need things only up to a certain point, but after that, it actually starts declining. So of course, people who are economics students can correct me because it's been a while since I was out of college. So if I got something wrong, but I think this really correlates to this particular concept.
Yeah, I think what he's trying to say, like, is that we will still get returns, but the returns will be marginally less.
Exactly. The law of diminishing marginal utility.
Yeah,
I remember that.
So basically, the law of diminishing returns, right?
So yeah, it's called the law of diminishing marginal utility. But of course, like I plan to read up on it, and I won't say that I'm much like I was a silent spectator in this video because I'm not much for economics. But I think what you said really has a lot of insight. It has a lot of I would say worth.
Yeah.
Because we don't really delve deep into these topics and think about it. We are like in a system, an economic system where things are going, wheels are churning, industrialization is happening, but we really don't stop and think about all of it. So I think you brought a good point to it.
Yeah, and I think sometimes you're just trapped by your own circumstances.
Yeah.
So like there's this Marathi phrase called "dabkyacha bedu," which means like a frog in a pond. So a frog in a pond is only aware of its own circumstances, and it's not really aware. But living in Germany, I saw the end of that capitalism cycle. Okay, they got rich, they got everything.
Yeah.
But what was the end product?
So yeah, I guess that's all from us, guys.
Yeah. And we apologize for the drums banging, but it's India and people want to play loud music randomly. So yeah, Mera Bharat Mahan. And like, share, and subscribe, guys.